Be wet maybe because it's champagne. Here in Philly it's chocolate milk, and I apologize for being wet. I really don't apologize. I love being wet.
Brett, knowing the journey you, this organization, and also the fans have been on through the last few years, walking off your home court with a playoff series victory, just what was going through your head when you're walking off the court?
I mean, just how proud I am of our organization. You know, I was hired in 2013, and I sat with Josh Harris and David Blitzer and a few of the other owners, and we talked about the vision, what we hope to build, and through rough times, through adversity for sure, we didn't blink. You know, and we stayed strong in what we were trying to do and to sort of walk off that court, like you say. And, you know, we got more to do. We got more to give. We're excited for sure. And there was a sense of just gratitude and proud of all of us for staying together. Owners, team, direction that we're heading. We didn't blink. We didn't pivot out of what we said we were going to do. And I think slowly we're reaping the benefit of that.
Brett, on your right.
Coach, you just spoke on the physicality. What can you take from the physical lessons that Miami taught you when you can apply them to later playoff series?
I mean, you have to have purposeful offense in the playoffs because everything is a fist fight. And I think all those things that we talked about throughout the series with being ball strong, you know, taking a fist and a forearm and being able to create a lead, understanding the need to set tremendous screens and set up proper angles to receive balls, you could see they stood us up. And we had the real taste of it in game 2. And last game, you know, we had 7 turnovers. You know, a lot of it was generated through their physicality. And so that is the playoffs. It's a snapshot to what's always going to be the playoffs, and it only gets harder when you advance and you advance. And so how do you run purposeful offense, especially, is always on my mind. I think that our defense was pretty good for the very, very large majority of the game, but it is rough. It's rough scoring. It's really rough scoring in the playoffs.
Brett, right in front of you. Brett, do you notice it all during the game? Meek Mill dancing with Jeffrey Lurie, dancing with the governor, Kevin Hart. Do you see those? And if whether you do or not, what do you think of the fact this team has kind of captured the imagination of celebrities, the fans, kids, and the ride to the city on?
And we all, you know, got a taste of it with the Eagles, and then we got another taste of it with Villanova's tremendous win, and you feel it with the city from afar. Sometimes you're in, you know, the beat of the street, the pulse of the city, but you feel it. And to generate our own interest and generate our own momentum and feel like you can actually give something back to the city and the fans that endured with us. Like, it takes a village. This whole thing takes an organization and a committed city and all of that. And to feel our home court, we knew that if we could fight for home court, and then we got greedy and wanted third, you know, as that regular season was winding down, that it would provide a platform that you can't even quantify. It's just a vibe. And this city and this building and the fans were unbelievable tonight, and I know they will continue to be. Everybody's excited to sort of be a part of what I think is playing out to be, albeit early days, a pretty cool story.
Brett, you talked about the maturity of Joel and Ben Simmons. How much did the veterans that were added from the beginning of the season and throughout help them through what really could have been a difficult series if they didn't have guys to kind of tell them to stay under control?
It's all that. And so the stuff, Howard, that you're saying, I see in two ways. I see first, like the quiet messaging I can hear Amir Johnson share with the young guys being in Miami, the pitfalls and the dangers of being in that city. And what are you going to do, making sure everybody gets rest? And you hear about, you know, different things going on in the game, you know, adjusting to the physicality from JJ and Marco and Amir, et cetera. And then you go to the court, And like tonight, there was a 4-minute drought in the fourth period that, you're wondering where you're going to get a bucket from, how you're going to score. And, Marco hits that big basket to break a drought, and then JJ's got a backbreaker with the 3-ball. And, on court, off court, there is nothing like veteran presence. There's nothing like veteran minds. And I just am very, very grateful to our veterans, and the ones that we picked up late have had a significant impact on us sitting here right now.
Hey, Brett, do you kind of feel like your team passed an initiation of sorts, not just the first round, but the style and everything getting through this?
I mean, I have had a strong belief about my personal opinion of how the game should be played. Like, I like playing a certain way on offense, and I like playing a certain way on defense. And, the management and the owners have let me do that. And so, the culture and style of play, at some point, I think they coexist and they morph into one. At the start, it's to me, they're different. Like the behavior off the floor and what you're doing with the guys in treatment development, that's a little bit different. Like, how do we play offense and how do we play defense? And I feel proud that there is no mystery of how we want to play either offense or defense. And, you have to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. And I think we stand for something on offense and in defense. And that interests me. I'm proud of how we play. And I think that it is built in for the playoffs. It can sustain playoff intensity. And I hope that our guys and our fans enjoy it. And the style of play is something that we're proud of.
Brett, you're moving into the next round. Any thoughts on Boston and Milwaukee? I know that they're still playing, but they're two teams that you're familiar with.
I really don't have thoughts except that they, we got a fist fight coming again. And, we've had a tremendous battle with Boston this whole season. And we've had some kind of erratic games with Milwaukee. I think if you look at the roster and who actually played, you could better understand that. We just know that we got something coming around the corner that's going to be even more difficult. And as I've said, a lot, I think, the last few days, this group has more to give. This group has more to grow. And the longer we can buy time and continue playing, the longer Joel Embiid will get used to his mask and start playing basketball again after 3 weeks out. And the team will learn in I think, an expedited way when you're in such a rigorous competitive environment as the playoffs. And it all adds up into, I think we're going to get better. I really think that we're going to get better.
Coach, for much of the season, you guys were at your best in the first quarter of games and sort of progressively worse as the game got on. I think you were the worst fourth quarter team in the league at the All-Star break. What's changed? Like this series, you guys were plus 78, I think, in the second half. What has changed in regard to closing games? Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think it's all tied into what I've just said. I think we've stayed on to something and we haven't pivoted out of it. This is how we want to play offense. This is how we want to play defense. This is how we substitute. These are our crunch time plays. Like, this is just what we do. And, we've been able to just get incrementally better as the season has unfolded. And that's always the thing that makes coaches most proud of, is the fact that your teams get better. And this team really is getting better. And the pieces within the team are getting better, and so it all adds up. And you start doing those things I just said, and then you win, and then maybe you win again, and then you win 17 in a row, and things feel pretty good, and there's a confidence and a insulation that we have that we can do this. And, we still work with tremendous sort of respect and gratitude of where we're at, but there is an inner belief that is emerging.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.